What if I told you that everything you're holding on to, the anger, the heartbreak, the betrayal, the expectations, is the reason you're stuck? And what if the only way to move forward wasn't to fight harder, but to let go? See, the Stoics had a rule, not a gentle suggestion, a rule. If it's outside your control, you must release it immediately. But most people today, they cling, they obsess, they replay the argument 100 times in their head. They hold grudges like weapons. They grasp onto toxic people, painful memories, and dreams that no longer serve them until the weight crushes them. That's not strength. That's slavery. Now imagine this. You wake up and feel nothing for the people who tried to break you. You don't chase closure. You don't crave apology. You don't need revenge. You're just free. That's the power of Stoic detachment. And once you master it, you become unshakable. In this video, we're diving into the ancient Stoic art of letting go. Not with weakness, but with warrior-level clarity. You'll learn exactly how the Stoics trained themselves to release anything that held them back. Love, loss, ego, and even life itself. This isn't spiritual fluff. This is psychological warfare. And it may just be the most important lesson you ever learn. So stay with me. Because if you watch until the end, you won't just learn how to let go. You'll learn how to never be broken again. Why letting go feels so hard, and why most people never learn it. Let's be honest. Letting go sounds simple, but it feels like hell. You tell yourself to move on, to stop thinking about what they did, to stop checking that message thread, to stop holding on to the memory of how things should have been. But your mind doesn't listen. It replays the pain like a broken record, and every time you try to let go, it pulls you back in. Why? Because your brain is wired to hold on, to attach, to protect what it believes is yours, even if it's killing you. It's the survival instinct in overdrive. And this is where most people get trapped. They confuse holding on with strength. They think if they let go, they're giving up or losing something essential. But the truth is harsher. What you refuse to release is often the very thing keeping you weak. The Stoics understood this centuries ago. They knew that pain doesn't come from events. It comes from our attachment to how we think things should be. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been." That's radical accountability. It means the heartbreak, the insult, the betrayal, it didn't break you. Your refusal to let go of it did. Here's what no one tells you. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean pretending it didn't matter. It means you stop letting it control your emotions, your thoughts, and your future. But most people never learn this. Why? Because we've been trained by culture, by media, by our own egos, to chase closure, to chase apologies, to chase people who hurt us. We think if we get one more conversation, one more answer, one more apology, we'll finally be at peace. But the Stoics would tell you this is a lie. Peace doesn't come from them. It comes from you. From the moment you decide, I will not carry this anymore, because it's not mine to carry. Epictetus, who lived most of his early life as a slave, said it best. Some things are up to us, and some things are not. Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. He had every reason to stay bitter, enslaved, abused, silenced, but he didn't. He learned the most powerful rule of Stoicism. You are only responsible for your thoughts, your choices, and your reactions. Nothing else. And if something is outside of that, someone's opinion, someone's betrayal, someone's failure to love you, you have no obligation to carry it. The moment you do, you make yourself a prisoner. And that's the heartbreaking reality. Most people live in emotional prisons of their own making. They walk through life chained to past events, carrying resentment like armor. But it's not armor. It's weight. And it's keeping them from evolving. Here's the truth. You can't rise while dragging the past behind you. You can't evolve while holding hands with the ghost of who you used to be. And you definitely can't be free while replaying a war that's already over. Letting go feels hard because it requires something terrifying. Trust. Trust that even without that person, that answer, that closure, you'll be okay. That your life can still be meaningful, full, and even better without what you lost. The Stoics didn't just practice letting go. They practiced it daily. They wrote it. They meditated on death. They reminded themselves every morning, I may not get today back. I may lose everything I love. And I must be okay with that. Not to live in fear, but to live in freedom. So if letting go feels like weakness to you, remember this. It's not weakness to release the past. It's weakness to be ruled by it. And the reason you're still stuck is because you've been taught that letting go is passive. But letting go, stoically, intentionally, is one of the most active, disciplined, and courageous things you'll ever do. Next, I'll show you how the Stoics practiced letting go daily. Not just in thought, but in action. This is where philosophy becomes a way of life and a path to mental freedom. The Stoic philosophy behind letting go. What Epictetus, Marcus Aurelius, and Seneca knew. Letting go isn't just emotional advice. It's a weapon sharpened by some of the greatest minds in history. The Stoics weren't soft. They were warriors of the mind. While emperors ruled armies and senators debated power, men like Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius were mastering something far greater. Their own response to loss, pain, and ego. See, Epictetus once said, "Some things are up to us, and some are not." That's it. That's the core of Stoicism. Anything not in your control. People's opinions, the past, your reputation, your body even, isn't yours to carry. The moment you try to control it, you become its slave. Think about that. Imagine clenching a burning coal. That's what anger is. That's what obsession with the past is. Seneca called it self-torture. When you let your mind replay what you can't change, Marcus Aurelius, the emperor of Rome, literally wrote in his journal, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." So when we talk about letting go like a Stoic, we're not talking about pretending not to care. We're talking about radical clarity, knowing what's yours and what's not, and refusing to let the chaos of the world dictate your peace. It's not detachment from life. It's mastery over what defines your inner world. The Stoics weren't cold. They felt deeply, but they refused to let that feeling dominate their reason. That's the mindset we need to adopt, because only when you stop clinging to things you can't control do you finally reclaim power over what you can. The psychological trap. Why we hold on to what hurts us most. Here's the brutal truth. Most of us don't hold on because it helps. We hold on because we're afraid of what happens when we finally let go. There's a strange comfort in pain we're familiar with. It becomes a part of our identity. The failed relationship, the betrayal, the missed opportunity. These things start defining us, and we wear them like scars we're too scared to heal. But the Stoics would call this what it is. An illusion. You're not holding on to the past. The past is holding on to you only because you've given it a place to live. In your mind. And every time you replay that memory, every time you justify your anger or your resentment, you're feeding a fire that's burning you from the inside. Epictetus warned about this when he said, "It's not things that upset us, but our judgments about them." Think about that. It's not what happened, it's the story you keep telling yourself about it. You're not just reliving the moment, you're reinforcing the pain. Why? Because deep down, we think that letting go means we lose control. We think it means the other person wins, or that the experience didn't matter. But that's ego talking, not truth. Letting go doesn't mean you forget. It means you stop letting it define your peace. It means you choose strength over suffering. The Stoics understood that holding on to what you can't change is the quickest way to destroy your own freedom. And they knew that emotional clarity, the ability to see your pain for what it really is the first step to breaking the chain. So ask yourself this: are you gripping pain, or is pain gripping you? Let's face it, it's one thing to talk about letting go, and a whole different battle to actually do it. The real world doesn't come with clean emotional exits. You're not sitting cross-legged in a mountain temple. You're in traffic. You're in arguments. You're scrolling through old messages you know you should have deleted a year ago. So how do the Stoics help us right here, in the dirt and noise of daily life? The first Stoic weapon is this: voluntary discomfort. It sounds strange, even a bit harsh, but here's what it means. Practicing letting go by intentionally detaching from things that make you comfortable. Epictetus, who was once a slave, taught his students to train themselves not to rely on external things, whether it was a warm bed, the approval of others, or even their possessions. Why? Because letting go isn't just about big moments. It's a muscle, and like any muscle, it grows with practice. Try this. Sleep without a pillow for a night. Skip your favorite drink for a week. Walk without headphones and just listen to your thoughts. These small acts teach your brain that it doesn't need everything it thinks it does. Over time, you stop fearing loss and start realizing how little you actually need to feel whole. The second tactic, the view from above. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome and one of the most powerful men to walk this earth, used this technique constantly. When he felt overwhelmed or emotionally clouded, he imagined himself rising above the earth, looking down from the sky. Cities became dots. Arguments became whispers. Heartbreaks became specks of dust on a spinning rock in infinite space. From that view, your pain doesn't vanish, but it shrinks fast. This isn't just a philosophical trick. It's a psychological superpower. Neuroscience confirms that psychological distancing, stepping outside your own perspective, actually reduces emotional intensity. So the next time you feel consumed by something, do what Marcus did. Zoom out. Ask, will this matter in 5 years? In 10? To anyone else on this planet? More often than not, the answer is no. And once you realize that, you can release it. Tactic 3. Premeditatio malorum. The premeditation of evils. The Stoics didn't avoid thinking about worst-case scenarios. In fact, they deliberately imagined them. Why? Because fear has power only when it's vague. When you fear the unknown, your mind fills in the blanks with chaos. But when you clearly define what you're afraid of, you take back control. Let's say you're afraid of losing someone. Instead of pretending that fear doesn't exist, the Stoic approach is to sit with it. Think it through. Visualize it. Feel the pain before it arrives. It sounds dark, but it's liberating, because the more you face what you fear, the more resilient you become. You realize you can endure loss, that it won't destroy you, that life goes on. This is how the Stoics built inner armor, not by ignoring pain, but by preparing for it. Next up, the dichotomy of control. This one is the backbone of Stoic philosophy. Epictetus said it best. Some things are in our control, and others are not. This sounds obvious, but most people live as if they can control everything. Outcomes, people, timing, even the past. But the Stoic mind cuts the line clean. What's within your control? Your actions, your thoughts, your choices, your values. That's it. What's outside your control? Literally everything else. Other people's opinions. Whether someone stays or leaves. Whether the opportunity returns. When you truly internalize this, you stop bleeding energy into dead situations. You stop arguing with reality. You stop chasing closure from people who are emotionally bankrupt. You let go, not because you're weak, but because you're strong enough to say, This is not mine to carry. Then there's the journaling practice, something nearly every major Stoic did. Marcus Aurelius' Meditations was literally his private journal. He wrote down his thoughts, his frustrations, his philosophical reminders. Not to impress anyone, but to train himself. Journaling is where the storm of emotion meets the stillness of reflection. It's how you move from feeling something to understanding it. Try this. When you're struggling to let go, don't just sit with your thoughts. Write them out. Ask yourself, what am I really holding on to? What am I afraid will happen if I let this go? Who would I be without this story? The page won't lie to you, and it won't judge you, but it will reveal you. Clarity leads to release. And finally, memento mori, the reminder that you will die. Not to depress you, to free you. The Stoics meditated on death constantly, not in a morbid way, but in a motivating one. Because when you remember that your time is limited, your grip on pain loosens. You stop wasting months obsessing over things that won't matter on your deathbed. You stop replaying the insult, the regret, the betrayal. You stop trying to win arguments with ghosts. Death, in a strange way, is the ultimate teacher of how to live and how to let go. Because when you realize that this could be your last week, your last year, your last breath, you finally see what's really worth holding on to and what needs to be dropped forever. Here's the point. Stoicism isn't about being emotionless. It's about being emotionally sovereign. You feel everything, but you're ruled by nothing. You grieve, but you don't drown. You remember, but you don't relive. You love, but you don't chain. The Stoic art of letting go isn't a one-time act. It's a lifestyle of choosing peace over possession. It's a decision you make daily. To release what was, embrace what is, and trust what's to come. So the next time you feel like you're losing something, ask yourself, am I really losing it? Or am I just being given a chance to finally let go? Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means taking back control. Here's where many people get Stoicism completely wrong. They hear let go and think it means becoming numb, giving up, walking away like a coward. But Stoic letting go is not weakness. It's the ultimate form of strength. You're not giving up on life. You're giving up on illusions, on things you never controlled in the first place. And the moment you stop wasting your energy on what you can't control, you win back the energy to build a life worth living. Marcus Aurelius didn't let go of pain because he was detached. He let go because he was present. He knew life was short, fragile, and far too valuable to waste on emotional chains. He once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is not detachment from life. This is alignment with life. Letting go doesn't mean you become cold, emotionless, or distant. It means you choose where to pour your emotions. Do you pour them into resentment? Into replaying the same betrayals, rejections, and failures? Or do you redirect that energy into growth, discipline, and peace? Think about it. You only have so much bandwidth each day. If half your mental space is consumed by what should have happened, or who shouldn't have treated you that way, how much is left to create something meaningful today? Letting go is not passive. It is active surrender. Not to weakness, but to wisdom. Seneca had every reason to be bitter, exiled, betrayed, and forced to take his own life. But what did he say? He said, "He suffers more than necessary, who suffers before it is necessary." Meaning, your suffering isn't just what happened. It's what you carry long after it's gone. Stoics don't run from emotions. They interrogate them. They question whether holding on is serving them or destroying them. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting what someone did to you. It means refusing to let their actions become a prison inside your own head. It's not about pretending it didn't hurt. It's about refusing to let that pain decide how you treat yourself and others. Letting go of what you can't control gives you the rarest gift: inner stillness. A mind that's not always in conflict with the past or the future. A mind that's free, and in a world that profits from your distraction, from your outrage, and from your emotional chaos. Inner peace is a revolution. So next time you feel yourself clinging to something, a thought, a grudge, a moment you wish you could change, ask yourself, is this mine to carry? If the answer is no, then you already know what a Stoic would do. Not because it's easy, but because it's the only way to be truly free. At the end of the day, letting go isn't about losing. It's about choosing. Choosing not to be ruled by your past. Choosing not to be enslaved by what you can't control. Choosing peace over chaos. It's not flashy. It's not loud. But it's the most powerful transformation you'll ever go through. You won't wake up one morning magically healed. The mind doesn't work like that. But each time you pause, each time you take a breath before reacting, each time you say, "This is outside of me," and I release it, you reclaim a part of your power. That's the Stoic way. Not passive, not numb, but intentional. You are not your pain. You are not your past. You are the person who chooses what to carry forward and what to finally let go. You want to be free. You want to be unshakable. Then stop giving your power away to everything you were never meant to control. That's how Stoics walk through life. Not untouched, but unbroken. Call to action. Build the Stoic within. If this message hits something deep inside you, if you're ready to stop overthinking, stop holding on, and finally live with purpose, then you're on the path to building a Stoic mindset. Pushpin subscribe for weekly reminders of strength, discipline, and inner freedom. Stop sign comment below. What's one thing you know you need to let go of? Bell turn on notifications, because the next video will show you how Stoics handle betrayal, and why most people get it completely wrong. You don't need more noise. You need clarity. Let's build it. One thought at a time.